So my name is Baird, 5th grade math and science teacher, and I use exit cards for a couple of different things. One is to find out where kids are with what we did that day. I don't do them every day, but where we are on the days that I do them. And then also, the one like I did today, I used as sort of a general model, I sort of offer some choice within the exit card, because just regardless of how the kids do on it, that what they choose tells me a lot about where they're feeling and how they're feeling about things. And so for today, I actually put in there the piece at the bottom, which was, how confident do you feel in your solution, which again tells me about which one they chose and how confident they were solving it. Just tells me sort of where they are, so I get a gauge of sort of how they're feeling about what we did for whatever concept it is.
Great. So you've been using exit cards for a while. What's kind of been your learning curve? Like, how do they work? How do they not work? Or what,
Yeah, it takes a little more sort of like upfront thinking to think about like what's the specific thing that I want to get out of it. But it's actually, I found it's better for my instruction to have that goal of like, okay, what's the thing I really want them to be able to do at the end? I also have, came to that realization that when you do an exit card, you find out a lot about what they really know versus what you thought they knew. And I always assumed kids knew things, and then when I see it on an exit card, it's confirmed, or it makes me think, you know what, I thought she had that, but on her own, she's definitely not, it's not secure yet, so a little more fragile thinking. So definitely gives, I feel like when I do the exit cards, I have a much better handle on where kids' thinking is fragile, where it's secure, and what things they can actually do independently as opposed to with some questioning or some pressing.
If there are teachers watching this who've never done this, or they're maybe tried it but are any tips for people as they begin experimenting with exit cards or things that you've learned from your experience?
Yeah, I think starting simple. Like I think my exit cards now, there's kind of a couple layers to it, but I know when I first started doing it, it was like, here's one problem. I just want to see who can do it and who can't. It's quick. And the more complicated the exit card is, the more time it takes, first of all, to look at it and analyze it. And sometimes the harder it is to get out of what the next steps are going to be, because you could go a lot of different ways with them. So to have like a clear goal of what do you want to get out of your exit card. It was a big thing with exit cards. I think it's really important to, after you give the exit card, take a look at it immediately and just kind of go through and, one of the things I got from Bill Feely with the math stuff is to simply go through and kind of put them into piles of got it, don't have it. And it gives you just a quick snapshot of like a better snapshot of what's going on in your room. But I find if I do it fresh when it happened, it's a time management thing. Like it's right at the end of class just to go through and quickly, you got it, didn't get it. And again, the more complex you make, like the one that I gave today had 4 problems, and you could be wrong in one part and correct another part, and so it makes it harder to go through and do that. So today was more of like getting a sort of the litmus test of where the kids are just in general. But when you have a simple card, it's really quick to go who's got it, who doesn't, and then it tells you who to go back and talk to or which kids to sort of push a little bit. And the one thing I think that I kind of stumbled into, again, it was part of like the best practices work, was using an exit card as a way to start off the next lesson. And that's been really powerful to say, here's how somebody did this yesterday. And it engages kids to just sort of re-engage with what we did yesterday, that sort of recall piece. But then it's a chance for kids to think about how they might have done it differently or similar. And there have been times where I've actually said, here's how 3 of you solved this yesterday. And what's similar about these? What's different? What's, one of these, so all those different things. And so you get more mileage out of putting the work into that, and it's a great way to start. And it's been really effective because the kids know that what you're starting and talking about is their stuff. It's not like you're putting up here's what Joe from the book did. It's you're putting up, here's what kids actually did yesterday. And then they love it sort of gets that engagement too, because kids will start to love being like, that's my exit card, that's up to you. And even though I try and take the names off stuff, but they still love that idea of like that it's their work and some pride in it. So
it's great. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.